2020 జేఈఈ మెయిన్ ఫలితాలలో ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ విద్యార్థుల ప్రభంజనం. ఆల్ ఇండియా అన్ని కేటగిరీస్లు 18, 35, 251, 253, 582, 606, 778, 780, 812, 821, 1031, 1049, 1303, 1575, 1654, 1753, 1754, 1978 ర్యాంకులే కాక మరెన్నో ఉత్తమ ఫలితాలు సాధించిన విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్. ఈ ఫలితాలు సాధించడానికి కారణమైన లెక్చరర్లు మరియు తల్లిదండ్రులకు మా కృతజ్ఞతలు. ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్.
Good morning. So today we are going to start a new topic, that is chemical equilibrium. So first one, what is equilibrium? Now imagine that we are doing some reaction, say R converts into P, where R represents reactants, P represent product. Say you are doing this reaction in a closed container, let us assume. So initially we take reactants. So as the reaction takes place, reactants are converted into products. That means the mass or concentration of reactant decreases, the mass or concentration of the product increases. So concentration of the system will change. Concentration of reactants decreases, concentration of the products increases as the reaction proceeds. Apart from this, the other physical variables like pressure of the system, if there are gases, right, pressure of the system may change depending upon the nature of reaction, whether it is exothermic or endothermic. Temperature of the system can change. So during a reaction, concentration, pressure, temperature, volume, etc., these variables can change. These measurable variables can change as the reaction progresses, as the reaction proceeds, as reactants are converted into products. What is equilibrium? It is an intermediate stage. It is a stage during the reaction where these measurable properties like concentration, pressure, temperature do not change with respect to time. So they remain constant with respect to time. That means as long as the system remains equilibrium, their numerical values will not change. There is no noticeable change in their numerical values. So what is equilibrium? It is a stage during the process, chemical process, during the process where the measurable properties like pressure, concentration, temperature do not change with respect to time. That means they attain certain constant value. As long as the system remains at equilibrium, these variables, they do not change. As long as these variables remain constant, the system remains at equilibrium. So this is one major point. Next, equilibrium, it involves two opposing process. Equilibrium involves two opposing process. So what is the meaning of two opposing process? Here the reaction can proceed in both forward direction as well as backward direction. That means reactants are converted into the products. At the same time, products are converted into reactants. So if you see the forward direction, when the reaction moves in forward direction, reactants are converted into products, because of which concentration of reactants decreases because they are consumed, concentration of products increases because they are formed. But if you see in the backward direction, products are converted into reactants. Because of backward reaction, concentration of products decreases, concentration of reactants increases. So they oppose each other. Equilibrium involves two opposing process. That means in a chemical reaction, the reaction has to proceed in both forward as well as backward direction at the same time. At equilibrium, what we studied, there is no noticeable change in the measurable properties. If there is no noticeable change, does it mean that the reaction has stopped? No, the reaction will continue to take place, but it takes place in such a way that there is no net change. What is the meaning of this? So at equilibrium the reaction does not stop, but it takes place in such a way that there is no net change. What is the meaning of that? Let us say, suppose in 1 minute, say some reacting molecules are converting into products. Say 5 reactants are converting into 10 product molecules. In the same 1 minute, 10 product molecules will be converted into 5 reactant molecules. Then what happens? For the same time period, at a given time, the number of reactants decomposed and the number of products decomposed, they give same amount. The change in the number of moles of reactants are same. The change in the number of moles of products are same. Thereby, the concentration of components remain constant. Similarly, we can explain with respect to other variables. So, the reaction will take place in such a way that there is no net change. So, in terms of rate of reaction, we say that rate of forward reaction becomes equal to rate of backward reaction. Suppose if I move 2 steps in forward direction, right, there is a net displacement in forward direction. At the same time, if I move 1 step backward direction, there is a net displacement in the backward direction. Suppose if I am moving like this, 1 step forward, at the same time 1 step backward, 1 step forward, 1 step backward, the net change will be 0. In a similar way, the reaction proceeds in such a way that there is no net change. So, what we need to understand is the reaction do not stop. At equilibrium, reaction do not stop, but it takes place in such a way that there is no net change. That is, rate of forward reaction must be equal to rate of backward reaction. The speed at which reactants are decomposed must be equal to the speed at which products are converted into reactants. So, once again, equilibrium represents a stage where the measurable properties of the reaction remain constant with respect to time. Equilibrium involves 2 opposing processes. That means the reaction, if I take a chemical reaction, reactants are converted into products, at the same time products must be converted into reactants. At equilibrium, the reaction do not stop, but it takes place in such a way that there is no net change. That is, the rate of forward reaction must be equal to the rate of backward reaction. Rate is nothing but speed here. The speed at which reactants are decomposed and the speed at which the reactants are formed will be same. Hence, there will be no net change. Now, equilibrium can be established in both physical process as well as chemical process. Equilibrium can be established in both physical and chemical process. So, you can establish equilibrium in both physical process and chemical process. But what is a physical process? So, a process which involves change in only physical state. A process which involves change in only physical state, we call it as physical process. Physical state means solid, liquid, gas. Change in physical state of the substance. A process which involves change in only physical state, we call it as physical process. Example, solid is converted into liquid. Best example is ice to water. Ice is solid, water is liquid. The composition is same. What is ice composition? Nothing but H2O. What is water composition? It is also H2O. So, chemical composition remains same, but physical state, this is solid, this is liquid. Next, water to vapor, water vapor, right, nothing but liquid is converted into gas or vapor. Next, solid to gas, Example, iodine solid is converted into iodine gas or vapor. So, if a process involves a change in only physical state but not chemical composition, we call it as physical process. The equilibrium established in a physical process, we call it as physical equilibrium. The equilibrium established in a physical process, we call it as physical equilibrium. So, coming to the next one, that is chemical process. Chemical process, a process which involves change in the composition of components, we call it as chemical process. So, here chemical composition of components will change, such process we call them as chemical process. The equilibrium established in chemical process, we call it as chemical equilibrium. So, let us see some examples. So, here we are taking some Haber's process. Nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia. The chemical properties of nitrogen, hydrogen, ammonia, they are different. The chemical properties are different. So, there is a change in chemical composition. So, nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia. It is a chemical process, right? And the equilibrium established, we call it as chemical equilibrium. The chemical properties of SO2, O2, SO3 are different because their chemical composition is different. Therefore, it comes under chemical process. The equilibrium established in chemical process, we call it as chemical equilibrium. You can give number of such examples. Decomposition of HI. So, all these are examples of chemical process. The equilibrium established in chemical process, we call it as chemical equilibrium. So, chemical equilibrium can be established in both physical as well as chemical changes. Right. Chemical reactions can be classified into two types. Chemical reactions are two types. Irreversible reactions and reversible reactions. Chemical reactions are two types: irreversible reactions and reversible reactions. So, let us see the meaning of irreversible reactions and reversible reactions. Irreversible reactions. As the name indicates, it is not reversible. That means the reaction always proceeds only in one direction, that is forward direction. So, these reactions takes place only in forward direction. That means In these reactions, reactants are converted into products, but products are not converted into reactants at same time or simultaneously. Right. Such reactions we call them as irreversible reactions. So, what are irreversible reactions? Chemical reactions which takes place only in one direction, that is forward direction. That means reactants are converted into products, but at the same time products cannot be converted back into reactants. Such reactions we call them as irreversible reactions. They are represented by a single headed arrow. They are represented by a single headed arrow. Let us see some examples. Neutralization of strong acid and strong base. Neutralization of strong acid, SCS, strong acid and strong base, SB, strong base. Let us take one example, well known example, that is HCl plus NaOH gives NaCl plus water. So, if you take HCl and mix with NaOH, you will get salt and water, that is NaCl and water. But if I take water and add NaCl, and if you mix them, you will not get NaOH and HCl. The reaction cannot be reversed. Next, all combustion reactions right. Example, methane gas plus oxygen, what we get? Carbon will be converted to carbon dioxide, hydrogen will be converted to water, 2H2, right. 2 plus 2, 4 oxygen, so 2O2. So, when you burn something in the air, right, it is oxidized, right. If I take carbon dioxide, water, if I mix them, I will never get oxygen and methane, right. So, what is the reason is the energy released is so high. The energy released is high. Even if you supply that energy, these compounds may decompose, but they cannot react back to form these compounds. So, the energy changes are huge. Next one, precipitation reactions. So, example, silver nitride plus NaCl gives AgCl solid precipitate plus NaNO3. So, one of the products separates out as solid. So, it is no longer the part of the solution, right, that is why it is irreversible. And one more is some decomposition reactions, not all, some. Perchlorate, KClO3, chlorate, sorry, what we get is on heating. So, these are some reactions which are irreversible. Right. The reason is the energy difference between reactants and product is very high. Even if you provide that energy, the products may be decomposed or vaporized, but they cannot be converted back. So, once again, what are irreversible reactions? Chemical reactions in which reactants are converted into products. Reactants are converted into products, but products cannot be converted back into reactants under same conditions simultaneously, right. Such reactions always takes place in only one direction, that is forward direction, hence they are represented by single headed arrow. So, these are some examples. So, let us see examples for reversible reactions. Right. As the name indicates, in these reactions, reactants can be converted into products, no doubt. At the same time, products can also be converted back into reactants at same time. So reactants are converted into products and products are converted into reactants simultaneously. They are represented by two off-headed arrows pointing in opposite direction. Two off-headed arrows pointing in opposite direction. So in these reactions, reactants are converted into product, at the same time products are converted back into reactants. So let us see some examples. So Haber process, best example, it is reversible reaction. So under these conditions, experimental condition, nitrogen, hydrogen combine to form ammonia. Under same condition, ammonia will be decomposed back into N2H2. So decomposition or formation of ammonia, formation of HI, given SO2 you can write SO2 reaction with O2. So these are some reactions where the reactants can be converted into product and products can be converted back into reactants under same conditions. Right. So in which type of reactions, in which type of chemical reactions, I mean whether it is irreversible or reversible, equilibrium can be established or equilibrium can be attained. So come back to the definition of equilibrium. Equilibrium involves two opposing process. That means the process has to take place in opposite, has to proceed in both directions at the same time. So based upon this we can say that in order to establish equilibrium, the reaction must be reversible. So equilibrium can be established in reversible reactions only, but not in irreversible reactions. So equilibrium can be established in reversible reaction because here the process takes place in both directions, forward and backward. Therefore, make a note of that point. Equilibrium can be established in reversible reaction as the reaction takes place in both forward as well as backward direction. Right. So just now we have studied that equilibrium can be established in reversible reactions. Now let us see under what condition a reversible reaction may become irreversible. For example, if I take a closed container like this, decomposition of CaCO3. CaCO3 solid, on heating it gives CaO solid plus CO2 gas. So decomposition of CaCO3, this is closed container, closed vessel. If I do the same reaction in an open container, the reaction becomes irreversible. Irreversible in open container. Here it is reversible. So what is the reason? So decomposition of CaCO3 is reversible when carried out in closed vessel, but becomes irreversible when carried out in open vessel. The reason is the CO2 gas, that since it is a gas, it escapes out, it will not stay in the vessel. So one of the product formed is a gas, it escapes out, it goes out of the vessel. Therefore, without CO2 we cannot reverse the reaction. When I do this in closed container, right, since it is closed, CO2 stays within the system. That means a reversible reaction may be converted into irreversible, provided that if one of the product separates out as volatile component, like volatile component means gas, volatile component or insoluble solid. So a reversible reaction, make a note of this point, a reversible reaction may become irreversible. A reversible reaction may become irreversible if one of the product separates out as volatile component or gas or insoluble solid, that means precipitation, volatile component or insoluble solid. A reversible reaction may become irreversible if one of the product separates out as volatile component or insoluble solid. Here also, if you make a small hole to the container, then it becomes an open system, CO2 gas can escape and the system and the reaction becomes irreversible. So make a note of that point, a reversible reaction may become irreversible. So let us try to understand the same thing by plotting the graph. So we are taking some reactant. So initial, that means at time t equal to 0, you haven't started the reaction. Say you are starting the reaction with some 10 moles, 10 molar. So initially the concentration of product will be 0. Initially the concentration of the product will be 0. So as the time passes, say some 5 minutes, some amount of reactants are converted into products. So initially the concentration of reactant is high, the concentration of product will be 0, but as the reaction takes place, reactants are consumed and converted into product. Thereby the mass of reactants keep on decreases, whereas the mass of the product increases, So as the process takes place at equilibrium, their concentrations remains constant. They may be same or different, but their concentration value remains constant. That means once they reach equilibrium, after that there is no change in their numerical values. Such a stage, we say that the system has attained equilibrium. So let us try to understand the same thing by plotting the graph. So what are the variables? Concentration, right? Independent variable, time. So we are plotting the graph between concentration of components versus time. Concentration versus time. Right. So initially whose concentration is more? Reactants. Let us assume some 10 mole here. Concentration of product, it will be 0 here. What happens to the concentration of reactants? It is high, but as the reaction takes place, it is consumed, therefore its concentration decreases. Its concentration decreases like this. At equilibrium, after certain point, it attains, its concentration remains constant. Remains constant means the line should be parallel to time axis. Similarly, so this is reactant. Now coming to the product, it is 0 initially. As the time passes, that means the reaction takes place, its concentration increases. At equilibrium, its concentration attains or remains constant. Constant means next, law of mass action. What is law of mass action? This law gives the quantitative relationship between rate of reaction and concentration, molar concentration of reactants or active mass of reactants. It gives the quantitative relationship between rate of reaction and molar concentration of reactants. Right. Let us see how to apply this. It is defined as the rate of reaction is directly proportional to molar concentration of reactants, product of molar concentration of reactants. So what is the meaning of this? Let us see. Let us take some examples. Say A gives P. A is reactant, P is product. Right? According to law of mass action, LOMA, law of mass action. Let us assume rate of reaction as R. R is directly proportional to, there is only one reactant, concentration of reactant, this is how it is represented, enclosed in square bracket. Rate is directly proportional to concentration of reactant. Remove the proportionality, you get some constant R equal to K into concentration of A, where R is rate of reaction, K is rate constant of, this is concentration of reactant A. Concentration of reactant A. Let us take some more examples to understand this. A plus B gives P. Let us assume A and B combine to form product P. According to law of mass action, what I can write? R, rate of reaction, is directly proportional to, we have two reactants. So product of concentration of reactant A into B, concentration of B. Remove the proportionality, what we get? R equal to K into concentration of A into concentration of B. Or you may have reactions like this: X moles of A reacting with Y moles of B to form P. X and Y are stoichiometric coefficients. So applying law of mass action, X comma Y, stoichiometric coefficients. So applying law of mass action, what I can write? Rate of reaction is directly proportional to product of molar concentration of reactants. We have two reactants A, B, we have to write like this. Apart from that, you have stoichiometric coefficients. So this is how you have to write. Rate is directly proportional to concentration of A to the power of its stoichiometric coefficient, that is X, into concentration of B to the power Y. So concentration of A to the power x, concentration of B to the power y are equal to K into A power x into B power y, where R is rate of reaction. X and y already I have written stoichiometric coefficient. This is concentration of A, concentration of reactant A, concentration of reactant B. So it gives the relation between rate and concentration of reactants only. Nowhere you will come across with the product. No relation between rate and product.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.